Hi guys, how are you doing? According to Tunde Ednot's blog, um, MohBad's autopsy results is out. According to Tunde Ednot's blog. I don't know, can you guys see me on YouTube? YouTube audience. Okay, yeah, I think they can see me now. I'm live already. Send request. So good afternoon. We have Kemi Olunloyo loading. She's going to be joining us in a few moments. Started 2 minutes ago. Okay, so let me read what the blogs are saying, and I'm quoting Mazi Tunde Ednot. That is Tunde Ednot's blog. Okay, so that's the story on Tunde Ednot's blog. Said, result now out. Autopsy reveals substance, drugs, as the possible cause of MohBad's demise. But una know say I use style talk this thing. You know say I use style talk this thing. I use style talk Some of us said it already. But you listen, didn't you suspect? Someone said that if you said, I said it. We are blaming a lot of people. You see, 90% of MohBad's demise, as far as I was concerned, was MohBad. Everybody else was 10%. Tamilari, Naira Marley, MohBad wife, MohBad papa, all that one are 10%. 90% na MohBad. As a brother, someone said time to beg Naira Marley. I wouldn't say that. But I said it. As in, I can't even believe you people remembered. I can't believe you people remember this thing. And when I said it, they bashed me. You see, it's only Ada. Where is Ada blessing? I'm not saying Samilari and Naira Marley did not do their own, but when you've dealt with someone who has substance issues, substance will magnify. If na slap, they slap you. Substance go say I must say they drop BOMB for your head. Let's welcome our guest today, Kemi Olunloyo. Do you know that they wanted to bash me? I sent this message to Ada just now. Once again, I am a prophet. The way he was acting, all the reports just showed that this boy gets substance issue. Unless this thing is not true, and I trust Tunde Ed not to be a reliable blog. So, as in, you see, let me tell you, the reason why you can't get salvation is when Tebaro Toro Emambaja, you are not used to analyzing critically. You are used to I'm not emotional. I am so unemotional that I am cold. Taste Buds describes me as cold. I don't feel a lot of emotions human beings feel. So I think it's a bad thing, but it's also a great thing. I think straight. You don't know what I went through with MohBad people and P2B people. I don't know who trolled me past. Yeah, brother, what's up? Very good, brother. Hello, Shale. Which one? Yeah. Yeah. Can I call you? I'm live. Once I get off, I will. You'll be the first person I'll call. No vex, I beg, bro. All right. God bless you. You see, you guys are emotional. From when I was young, no matter if I have it as a gift, if I dislike person, I will still know the truth about them. Some people, once they don't like someone, they can't figure out, they can't fathom the truth about that person. Once they don't like you, nothing where you want to talk for this life will ever make sense. What all these people calling me now, eh? Yes. Olori Brukutun flash, Nisha. I know they pick call you on the flash. Make I call you back. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, pop my money guns, Share the video if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook. Share the video. Someone say, I don't believe that result. Results where we know, say, so it go be. What were you thinking? You see, the problem with you people is you don't think. You are not critical. Auntie Kemi Olunloyo, a.k.a. Dr. Kemi. Emma, if you start a wipe camera in, it looks like you have
It's not my camera. I have a protective screen on my iPhone. On my fuzzy. Sure, it's my iPhone for life, but my look. Timbalo Android, my clearer. The only problem is that the SIM card I'm using is in my iPhone.
Okay, no problem. If that's the case, if it's not that, it's
I can hotspot it.
No need. Let's go straight to the meat.
I'm not logged in.
Please, my darling Auntie Kemi, you know you cannot. You have to spell out the words. Some of these words because of community guidelines. Just the way they don't hold your page, they nearly hold my own page. So at a point, I could not do live for more than 1 hour.
This is why I couldn't do live on my own.
As in, for the whole year, I could not do live for more than 1 hour. After 1 hour, they would just cut me.
Yeah, this is what's happening. People are sentimental and they're flagging pages. This page, Kemi Fight Africa, is my women's page. We beta tested it. Thanks for letting me promote it, please. We beta tested it on Facebook from June 1st, 2023 to this year. So Facebook, Kemi Fight Africa. I want to bring it to Instagram, but I have not opened it officially yet. I had to open it because of this live. Because there will be no place for me to get to you live.
Absolutely.
So people join it. Women, join it. This is a women's page for women around the world. There's too many things to discuss. I will leave it open so that we can gather women together around the world. We're sharing the same issues. Thanks for having me, Freeze.
God bless you, my sister.
Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, I'm not a medical doctor. I am a pharmacist, a clinical pharmacist. I'm not a pharmacologist. I'm not a pharma anything. I'm a clinical pharmacist. And it's nice to say that a clinical pharmacist is really a pharmacist, but with clinical abilities. North America, US and Canada, we're all PharmDs. Freeze, let's rewind. When I came on your show after the press conference of the medications, what did I say on that live show? Please, you're going to have to bring that live show out because I need it. Is it on your YouTube?
I think it's on my YouTube, but because I go live every day, to be far back.
Okay. What did I say by the MohBad on that show?
You said it was substance. I said something similar to it, but I coded my words because of the bashing I was getting from people. But is this true? As in, how verifiable is this particular autopsy result that is published?
Now, let me tell you something about this autopsy results. A lot of us had seen this autopsy results in September when it was done. And I mean, we, the cabal in the journalism field, there's a group where all the journalists are, the journalists that matter. and I call it a cabal because we leak so many things in there. We had seen this autopsy, and I had issues with it. That's why I was telling you, bring a lawyer and a medical doctor. But it's okay. I can do the show alone with you. When we did the show, we said this young man had a history of substance abuse. We know that. And it's not just because they raided the Marleyan house. They all had a history of using all kinds of substances. Ilari Olua particularly liked Molly. You know, Molly is MDMA, ecstasy, and that's what it is. Now, at the end of the day, I said that. But what else did I say at the end of the show? What Owonha said on the news conference. Owonha listed a cocktail of drugs.
Of medications. Medications. Let's be very careful.
Owonha listed a cocktail of meds. Prescription medications that we use in medicine. When I analyzed what this nurse administered, every single thing she administered, maybe I should say it this way. Faye Ogedengbe, the auxiliary nurse, every single thing she sent spending the DJ to go buy in the pharmacy and bring back was exactly what a doctor will use in a clinical setting. The only problem is that she did what they call trial and error. They had so many antibiotics, they had so many painkillers, they had so many things. So they laid all of them in a trial and error fashion. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I blame NAVDAC for that because they're complicit too. All these medications, all these medications, you cannot get them in America.
Okay, Kemi, you have to be very careful. Oh. They've already started restricting my live on TikTok. So please, let's be very, very careful. They've already restricted me on TikTok now. So we cannot, yes, as we cannot say,
Charlie saw Yoruba.
When you get there, you can use Yoruba and say Ogunloro. You can say Yoruba.
Let me do Yoruba English. Basically, all right.
Okay.
Trial and error. They will use them in clinical settings, but what she did was trial and error. In pharmacy, when I'm working in CVS, you can actually check all the medications that are going out to the patients waiting, but they can't go out until I sign it. That's how retail works. In the hospital, it's the same thing. A pharmacist has to check everything. Nurses, there are some nurses they call RN, registered nurse, LPN, GPN. In other words, nurses have 4 categories in America. And some nurses are what they call auxiliary nurses. They're like assistant. That's what the pharmacy technician is to a pharmacist. The tech can do everything, but I have to sign over. So an auxiliary nurse, is a technician. She only did CRIME, all right? CIRME is the fact that supervision. Now, if a registered nurse was there with her, then we're in another situation. She wouldn't be arrested. Do you understand me? Now, looking at the medications, she did trial and error. And there was an error. And the error bite the person. Now, before I go on about the drugs, about the autopsy, because we're going to look at the autopsy and we're going to actually read exactly what was sent here. And I will try my best not to use the D word. Should you get?
Yes, you have already used it, but just continue.
There's something fishy in that autopsy that basically when our pharmacy group, our journalism group, the group is not open to anybody. People are messaging me, they want to join. No, I don't use WhatsApp. I only use it to teach people, and I have that group finished. And it's not for anybody, okay? It's just for journalists and PPROs. We don't even have PPROs there too much. Now, before we go into the medication part, what I want to say is freeze. There's something called causation. This is why you're going to do a part 2 of this show, and you're going to bring a lawyer. If you need me in that show, call me ahead of time. Contact me ahead of time.
No
But
problem.
You need to bring lawyers. I hope you're writing this down. Causation.
Okay.
Everybody must go and Google causation. There is a causation effect in this case. Now that everybody has seen that autopsy with their eyes. Causation means in kokombai, low. In kokombai, low pa. In other words,
now this thing in use, now this thing by am.
one thing that could by somebody was introduced into the victim, and another thing actually by the person. There is one particular case I want to cite out of the United States, okay, R versus White. I will get it, I will send you the link later. I was a new journalist when this started. I only practiced 1994 to 2024, 30 years. And this was my last investigation, MohBad. I was a new journalist in, I think it was 1996, R versus White. There was a huge causation effect there, where a woman had a heart attack. She was elderly, and she was like maybe 85. So her son felt that you are 85, you have all these medical issues, might as well just buy you. Sure you get assisted by, you know what I mean?
It's called euthanasia.
Euthanasia, thank you, we can use that. So, what the boy did was he poisoned his mother. And when he poisoned his mother, nothing happens on day 1. It was actually day 3 that the mother now had a heart attack. And that poison was supposed to work like ASAP, as soon as possible. So what now happened is the police arrested him. They did the autopsy for this old lady, and the doctor said she simply had a heart attack. Secondary to what? Poison? Medication she was on? Or something she ate? It was not secondary to any of them. So they acquitted him. So the causation factor is very important. Please, if you go and Google causation, you will see a column for dictionary meaning, and you see a Wikipedia. Go and read the Wikipedia, and you see people asking questions. During the Oromoni case, you remember that
Yes.
Sylvester had pneumonia,
Yes.
but he was being bullied and hazed. Now, at the end, the autopsy showed that he actually died of an enlarged liver from the pneumonia, whereas he was actually being bullied. I will also go to the New York case, the 12-year-old in New York. I was covering that at the very same time as Sylvester's case. This 12-year-old in New York was being bullied, punched in the head, everything, and he died of a peptic ulcer. I was actually dragged into that one in New York. One journalist was following the Romani case in America, and that journalist needed me to help her with the New York case. I'll give you the boy's name in New York. These are cases we have to use to look at further cases. That's why they say journalism is a rough draft of history. Now, when I talked to the New York attorney, I said, even though the day this boy died in school, another bully said, watch me bully you today. And the boy said, I'll give you my lunch money if you dare punch me. So that boy punched him, he fell, and he was rushed to the hospital and gave him the lunch money. But when he got home after the hospital, he was fine. And his parents now started to complain to the school that now they're betting lunch money to be bullied. My son doesn't have to go through this. The boy went to bed, and in the morning, he was bite in his sleep. So when they now had the autopsy, clearly anyone will say it is the result of the fight in school yesterday. So the autopsy showed a peptic ulcer. So here comes Kemi Olunloyo, US trained clinical pharmacist, living in Africa, investigative journalist, And they cited me in that case because I said, I'm also a pharmacist. If a peptic ulcer killed that little boy,
Bite.
If a peptic ulcer bite that little boy, there is a classification of ulcer. called stress ulcers. We know H. pylori, the bacteria that will enter ulcers and can bite someone. But what about stress ulcers? Stress ulcer actually exists as a disease, and it is as a result of stress. And that stress is the bullying. So they incorporated that into the case. At the end of the day, they cited me, and I was right in a way. The judge said, this is very interesting. These are things we have to know. Stress ulcers. At the end of the day, what happened? They settled the case, and they gave the family $3 million. And some people in New York said it was too small. The city gave them $3 million, and I think they settled it, and that was it. There was some other monies given, but the $3 million was the major settlement. They settled that one. Now, I explained that because I want you to know what causation is. All right. In the autopsy that we saw that was leaked, okay, there was a woman inside that autopsy. She was MohBad's aunt. She attended. All the family members were supposed to attend.
Yes.
Only person that didn't attend was MohBad's dad and mom. Because it's taboo, I guess. You saw what he said on my interview. He said he could not attend any kind of thing like that. When you attend an autopsy, you're either there or sitting in the lounge, in the thing. Do you know how a stadium is freeze? We sit on the rows up there, and down in the middle, they're playing the game. That's how an autopsy is. There could be people sitting on 6 rows watching it from the glass. And they're the surgeons and the pathologists who are actually there. We are required 3 autopsies before we graduate from pharmacy school. And I attended 3. The first one was canceled because the patient's disease was active. And they don't like students in active disease case. The person had HIV. So if blood starts splashing now and it splashes on a student, that's a lawsuit there. But the second autopsy was a pie case. And the third one was a diabetic woman. You see that pie one? I paid attention to a lot of things. Auntie MohBad said, Talogun MohBad Lorun. Did you hear it or you didn't hear it?
I heard it. I just heard Talogun Lorun. What does that signify?
It means the word laceration. Laceration is
Tomba Lankon.
Exactly. Taba Mwejali market. Okay. Elomi ofek bejawale, emi on bejawale. In any country, Emma, the scales, you will clean it for me. And then you lacerate the fish and take up all the lungs and everything. That's what a laceration is. Laceration one report Tawari. Immediately laceration for 8 months. Don't back when your love it. Laceration will cause a lot of bleeding. Okay? In cutting bloody blankets, you want him. So you understand what most of
100%.
This is why we had a bloody blanket, because of that laceration. Where is that blanket? Nigerian police was supposed to carry that blanket with gloves, test it for DNA, everyone that touched that blanket, but now it's gone. The crime scene was tremendously damaged. So now, at the end of the day, Ifedayo, what we have is a young man, Darosha, his PA, who said he embalmed the body. Now, 8 months later, after the police had closed the case, I worked with the police from September 15th to the 30th. And let me tell you my role. I have a thread of conversations. I don't post such thing. It would compromise investigations. With Ben Hundain, Muyiwa Dejobi, all the PPROs, everybody. I worked with the police because there was so much multimedia and we had to authenticate it. You know about authentication? You're a journalist. You're a broadcast journalist.
Absolutely.
You can't just put a video out of Sam Larry's voice saying all stations said you. You can't just put anything out. You have to authenticate. Authenticate it means date, time, and everything. This is why all my multimedia in social media, I always say the date and the time. Now, so as we were authenticating all those, Mr. Darusha posted on his page that he embalmed the body. The father arrived, they saw it under the staircase, there was a body blanket. That story fielded out into the social media. So it's been the narrative. Now, On the 30th, I finished with the police and the DSS. I got involved with the DSS. Like I said, I helped all three agencies. The DSS was involved because I believe Marwa contacted them because some two actresses said that they poisoned MohBad. So Marwa is not going to allow that. And I'm really happy for them because if the DSS had arrested those actresses, they wouldn't have been coming out for 2 years. DSS doesn't let people go on bail or like that because you cannot get into national security and mess up the name of an army general who was a governor in 3 or 4 states and who is heading the drug agency. You know what I mean? We have a problem. NTLA is live right now. I'm going there at 4 o'clock to join for the last hour. So that's what the DSS part was. Now, the NTLA part was associated with they gave MohBad something to drink. What they did was all the multimedia that was out there was very, very, what's the word? Was confusing.
Confusing.
Okay, they showed MohBad on the October attack, lying down and talking about something that happened in February. They went to rehab. Nobody poisoned anybody. At the end of the day, he was in an October video talking about the February stuff, so everybody now remarketed it as this just happened. So we had to authenticate all those stuff. Things that I found, I gave to the police, okay? And when I finished my investigation November 30th, it was 2 months, I gave it to Owonha. Owonha did exactly what, what's the name of this guy? Odumosu did. I don't know whether it's a tradition. In the middle of Sylvester investigation, Odumosu retired. In the middle of MohBad investigation, Owonha, the word they used was retired, but it turned out that he was promoted to DIG and then promoted to Interpol. He's the head of Interpol now. So as Owonha has left, I sent my report to him, what I have. And my report came up with the H word. Am I allowed to say that?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
The by word. But I have a new word, by Mosaic. Is that good?
Yes. By Mosaic.
I came up with by Mosaic. And I said, there's 15 people in the house. They all need to be arrested, interviewed, everything. This is a by Mosaic. But why would they buy him? What is the essence of buying him? Did they want to use him for or what? But at the end of the day, you know, because there's some people that do that whole juju thing. But at the end of the day, that's the bulk of my investigation, and I explained one by one. I did videos. I did 17 videos, and I archived them because Nigerians wanted to be sentimental and they didn't want to believe. So I archived them on TikTok. When I archived those videos, I now decided that I'm going to join the activism cause, because as a journalist, you can't enter activism at the same time if you are doing that story. Journalists must never insert themselves into the story. You know that.
Yes.
Okay? You see what Megan.
It's called jumping into the arena.
Exactly. You see what Megan did, the reporter, you know, in America, what she did when she was doing Tory Lanez versus Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah. All the fans loved her, and she did her work very professionally, and that's why they named her Megan the Reporter. Okay, but Nigerians, they want you to
pick a side. Yeah. I learned from the obedience campaign. If you are not with them,
do you know what they would tell me? Are you not a mother? I'm like, excuse me, people, listen up. When I come out the door of my house, I'm not a mother. I'm a journalist. When I leave, when a pilot leaves the door of their house, they tell their children bye-bye. They tell their wife bye-bye. They get into the plane. They don't go there as a father, uncle. They go there as a pilot.
As a pilot. Bless you.
You focus on your job in the cockpit. So when Kemi goes out there, okay, Dr. Kemi is a journalist when she goes into the newsroom. When she goes out into the pharmacy, she's a pharmacist. That's not to say that we can't be compassionate, okay? But activism and forever anonymous, thank you, dear. I like positive people. Activism and journalism are two different things. Unfortunately, we have so many people who are journalists who became activists and then got into trouble of the people because they made it sentimental. What's Sean King now? Sean King or Remy? Sean was working at the New York Times. But Black Lives Matter and the New York Times. And he left the New York Times and he started doing his own. Today, Sean is a Muslim. He's converted and he's all over Palestine. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a way of doing that. And then there are the activists who are not journalists, but they're investigating things. Whoa, Gwamnishu now. Harrison Gwamnishu an activist, a journalist, but they're investigating things. But those ones put their lives on the line. Tobacco activist, that Turkish activist, the woman activist, they fight her mother. Activism and journalism don't shape up. And I will never forget that lady. I knew her very well. So now that I've retired, I decided to join the activism course because I feel there should be justice for MohBad. Now, I know that you have your own views, Daddy Freeze. What I want to say to you, Freeze, is what is going to... The reason why you must bring a lawyer is there's a causation effect here. Okay. Me personally, I will say it again. MohBad don't like me, or if you don't look powerful, she like me. O block owó mi, ó ní kó má bá mi sọ̀rọ̀, kó bá mi ya photo, but kò sí bó ṣe máa rí ní ayé tí a wà yìí. Let me say something. In this world that we're in, kò sí bó ṣe máa rí, mi ò lè parọ́ fún ẹ. Wọ́n pa ọmọ yẹn ni. Nǹkan kan wà tá a lè solve tó bá ka write-ups mi. The reason I did
why tẹ ṣe feel pé wọ́n pa? Why do you feel that he was spied?
Let me tell you why. Showing video. Showing videos the videos I did about my investigation. Here's what happened, this is what happened. People didn't take it serious, they wanted to be abusing me, I archived it all the way. I now decided to do a text version, is why I'm doing these long write-ups, so that people can see it again. So, if you notice one of my text versions, I talked about Teligoni of the little boy, okay? And I also talked about the DNA test and how they secretly did some new DNA tests. DNA 1 negative from MohBad, DNA 2 negative from MohBad, and I asked them to post it so that people can see it. If there needs to be another DNA test, the child needs to be in front of the grandfather, and the test will be done the very same day.
Oh, okay. So are you trying to say, Dr. Kemi, that a DNA was done and MohBad is not the father of Liam?
I'm not trying to say. Let me start with the DNA thing again. When this case started, a source told us very credible information. The very same source went to VDM, okay? What's the name of that boy? Martin Ose. A very same source went to VDM. The very same source went to Sahara Reporters, Premium, okay, as well as the Cable NG. These are the same sources. Okay, that's why the DNA issue started with me and VDM on the blogging side. Now, they said that they did an utero DNA. You can take DNA of a baby before a baby is born. And they said it was done in UAE. I don't want to mention the names of the people, but it was credible. It said that Sam was the father. Sam replied me on Instagram. Did you see his reply to me?
No.
He just said, I'm not the father of Liam, and I have my own children and my own wife at home. Okay? When he wrote that, he was obviously referring to me. So when he denied it, fine. Let's do a fresh new DNA. A man called me and told me that he would give her, Wumi, 10 million naira to do the DNA. 10 million. She didn't take the offer. Then, Miss Tonto Dike offered to do a DNA in Abuja. They said they'll do it. Miss Yabojo offered to do a DNA. In October of 2023, Miss Yabojo reportedly paid influencers on Twitter.
Are you,
to post that.
These things you are saying, can you back them up? Because you're mentioning people's names and...
Yes, I can back them up. You're a journalist, but you remember, I am an investigative journalist. Freeze, do you know the proof of, what's the name we call it? When a journalist has a source and protect the source.
Yeah, but you see, can you really build a story out of this when you are having...
You can build a story.
Because, okay, so Kemi here is making some allegations about Yabojo, Sam, and Tonto. We'll like to hear from their sides, and I personally don't believe this. Do you understand? This is you talking. I don't believe that child is Sam's child. Personally, I don't. I don't believe Iyabo and Tonto paid for DNA unless they say it themselves. I don't think that is true. But you can continue with what you're saying.
Move back to, you don't think they paid for DNA, but they paid the influencers. major influencers on Twitter were paid 100,000 each out of the millions they got from their donations. The influencers were told to post on Twitter, DNA has been done and MohBad is the father. OGB was one of them, MohBad's friend. Ruthie was one of them. Okay, a bunch of people posted it and they made it viral. And I've asked some of those influencers. I won't tell you exactly the one I asked because we must protect the source. Source protection means that no courts, no police, nobody can ask a journalist anything. Because
I'm not sure it works like that in Nigeria, though.
No, wait. This is American law. Okay. This is the reason I did not honor the 6 invitations I got from Nigerian police. I called the U.S. Embassy and I told them that if I'm a dual of 2 countries and I'm practicing in another country, how does the First Amendment work in this case? The embassy said they will go to the thing with me and they will record it. You know, someone who said he doesn't want the U.S. Embassy coming to the police invitation for oral money and be recording it because it will be a bigger story and it will make them all look bad around the world. You don't want to do that to somebody who's a U.S. trained journalist, okay, who is also a dual from that country. So because of that, if you remember, don't let me say if you remember, Freeze, you probably don't know. In 1995, there was a source protection, what's it called? I was only a journalist 1 year in 95. A journalist was told that if he doesn't produce the source that gave them the information, he will pay $1 million a day in fine. Every day, the judge locked the journalist up, $1 million in fine. When the fine became $8 million in fine, all of us left. They said every journalist. Now, American journalists striked for 1 day. In the 24 hours that nobody worked, guess what?
What?
There was crime, there was looting, there was everything. Especially in Chicago, where the scanners, you know, the police scanners is the one that gives us the stories. Police scanner will be saying, "Want to buy any combi by you?" In the newsroom, there was nobody in the newsroom. We boycotted for 1 day. People are buying, different crimes were done because there was no news. Can you imagine if there's no news for 24 hours? So the judge now had to release our comrade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was trained in the US and I'm not going to come to Africa where they have a freedom of press in the constitution, but they don't abide by it. If you don't want a freedom, Nigeria shouts about that a lot. We have freedom of press, then let it go. Okay? Mama Jazz, IVD's sister-in-law, whatever, has no right to invite me. I did not honor that invitation. Adeleke had no right to invite me in 2018. Okay? It was his lawyer, what's the name of that boy, Bobo Achudua, that said he begged him that to open a can of worms on what by Davido's mom. Because I know it and I have all the recordings. I have all the phone calls she made. So a whole bunch of people have invited me. Oh, come on, Freeze. I had 6 invitations and I left that country. I will not be invited. Somebody told me, why don't you leave Nigeria and go do your work properly without anybody bothering you? Well, I said I'm retiring in 2024, my 30th year. I will leave, Sha. And I left January of 2023. So the whole point of it is, I can't tell you exact people and sources. I can just tell you that it was a lie. Miss Yabojo posted something. She said, for all of you that want to hear from Wumi, it's on my page, official Kemi Olunloyo, my journalism page. It's not a news page, it's an archive from my work. But because of MohBad being the last one, I'm talking actively there. If you go to official Kemi Olunloyo, you will see it there. Yabo's post, everyone that wants to hear from Wumi about DNA, she's now talking, and all the bloggers now blogged it. DNA has been done, is MohBad. When that didn't work, I busted everybody. When that didn't work...
So sorry, let me take you back a little. Are you saying that MohBad is the father?
No.
Okay, what exactly are you trying to say concerning Liam so that we can get a clear picture for the people watching?
If you go to official Kemi Olunloyo and you look at the particular post I did on DNA and telegony, there's a piece of that investigation I cannot answer. Freeze. When they were filming a video with Zlatan wouldn't talk to me. Nobody will talk to anybody. When they were filming, okay, Dotun, let me say this to Dotun real quick, okay? Dotun, I'm not going to be invited for anything. I just spoke about nobody can invite me. I don't honor invitations. And I just spoke about working with the police for 2 weeks. Okay, phone, everything. I'm not in Nigeria anymore, Dotun. Okay, focus. Okay, you've always been stupid.
No. Auntie Kemi, no. Hey,
I don't like
Lebu,
him.
is my
Dr.
brother.
is very, Dr. is very insulting to me. He has been disrespecting me for years.
No, but you see, he made the statement he made. He said you can be invited if you make allegations. That's why I'm very careful.
I live in Nigeria. He probably still thinks I live in Nigeria. He probably still thinks
but in this particular instance, Kobuyi, Emma Binu, he did not insult you here. But he did not insult you here.
Train for investigative journalism. And I've been vindicated in every case. Listen, Freeze, let me continue here.
But please, Auntie Kemi, please don't insult him. He did not insult you. Do you understand?
I'm reading his comments.
But he just said allegations. He spoke of allegations.
I'm reading his comments, and he's fueling comments from his fans who are saying, oh, she's trying so much and all that. I don't need that. Just tell me sorry. But don't disrespect me. I'm going to be 60 in 2 months. I'm nobody's mate here. Okay? Go and figure out what's going on with your own family and your own children. Okay? If you disrespect
Auntie Kemi, I will be angry now. Please.
Please, you know you are like my.
I know. So don't. So let's. You see, if he had any issues with you somewhere else, Dotun respects my platform, and I also want you to respect it, so that there will not be any friction. Unless I didn't read his comment. The comment he said was.
He needs to respect me.
Yes, and
he needs to respect me. Okay, let me continue. When you pay influencers, okay, I'm not here to tell you which influencers were paid. The influencers have told me, and they even gave me the amount. When you pay influencers 100,000 to say that the DNA has done, MohBad is not the father. MohBad is the father. When you write that kind of stuff, and it's not true in the end, go work, then they use a third strategy. Stella Dimoko Caucus. Stella said she heard that a Nollywood star secretly took me to go and do DNA test. Okay, and blah, blah, blah. When I got that from Stella, I went and investigated it. And I looked around, and I saw that one was done in Lagos, one was done in Abuja. Olunloyo DNA in Lagos, Yabo. Olunloyo in Abuja. Tonto. Key results, negative. MohBad is not the father. Let them post those results online. They cannot post it. I dare them to post it online. Let me tell you why I dare them. Daddy Freeze, you need to go and read my write-up. There's a component in this case that they got away with by... You hear me? That component is what happened at that video shoot. I never looked at that angle when I did my initial investigation. There is a video where Zlatan and MohBad were sitting on wheelchairs shooting a video. Maybe that was part of the shoot. He said something about 8 million naira he paid for that shoot in his petition. He said Mr. Sam Larry came with his boys and they were shouting the king's name. Am I allowed to say this king?
No.
Okay.
King don't arrest 2 people yesterday. Make we no join them. You know, say me I did Nigeria.
Let me finish. Everybody listen. They mentioned a king's name inside that petition. Did you see what MohBad wrote in the petition? For reasons best known to him. He said, I'm here on behalf of this palace and this king. For reasons best known to him, I don't know. They dabarooed my shoot and they destroyed equipment. And I don't own that equipment. The video guy's equipment was expensive. They destroyed some of the stuff. And the 8 million, I guess, was forfeited because of the damaged equipment.
Hold on 1 second. Somebody said DF is afraid. I'm afraid, oh. That one is not lie. I dey fear, oh. Sorry, Madam Kemi, continue.
So when they now said, when that what's it called? When MohBad did that petition, everybody was supposed to show up at the petition. Sam Larry showed up at the petition, at the invitation for that petition, and so did the 2 boys that he brought. We authenticated that video and we saw Sam Larry holding something that amounts to a cutlass or a stick, something big, or a baseball bat. Okay, they showed up at the petition, but somebody didn't show up. MohBad did not show up. Why didn't MohBad show up? Why did Zlatan and Bella Shmurda are the principal people that were posting everything online? They were the ones that were posting medicine after pipe. You understand what I'm saying? Medicine after pipe. We should have seen that petition before the pipe. Because if that petition came before the pipe, police would have taken action. So now police was bashed and abused because they didn't do anything, quote unquote. It's not that they didn't do anything. MohBad never showed up. Why didn't MohBad show up? Focus on the bigger picture. MohBad didn't show up because he was afraid. He said something about the king, and he said for reasons best known to him. The king now sent a statement out from the palace that they're not related to Mr. Larry, Mr. Sam Larry. We're not related to him. He's not related to this palace or anybody. The statement got that straight. Was Sam Larry just using the name of the king to boast or not? Why that king? This is a new angle. Remember, the mainstream media, who is supposed to be investigating this case, at least the Punch, Vanguard, Premium Times, Cable NG, the ones that even have the good investigative capacity, Premium Times, Cable NG, and Sahara Reporters, they didn't investigate this case. Do you know the reason?
Why?
Freeze, can you tell me the reason? Because, one, the Nigerian media, they don't always do everything. Kemi is independent, she can do everything. It could be libelous to them, and people can sue. The mainstream media will not even touch it. MTVC and all the TV and radio one. It could be libelous, but an independent journalist can touch it. And also, it involved a lot of public figures. There's a senator, there's a king. Who's going to touch that? You know what I mean? And there's a woman whose mother was a former police officer who apparently, according to an MPF officer that spoke to me, under anonymity, you don't know about investigative journalists how anonymous people want to be because you have to protect the source. Kiolak Mama Sofemi lati Aja said Emi was very instrumental in Aja police station. Did I not live in Aja? Was I not one of the people that supported this whole thing with the boy they killed? Oh, excuse me, the boy they piped, that boy. And then next was Bolanle Rahim, the lawyer. They had to move the whole police station away and put new officers there. So I have that connection in Aja as a member of the community there. But a police officer in Aja was telling me that they rushed to bury him because of one reason. People were abusing Joseph Aloba. It was not him that rushed to bury him. The police officer told me we did not give them a report. Wumi was holding the death certificate and the medical report. She did not hand it over. So the next thing is to go to the police and get a police report. The mortuary won't take him. They did not give him because Wumi's mother allegedly influenced that DPO. This is according to my police source. If you are allegedly influenced,
now where did you get this source from? This source
it's a police officer. It's a police officer in Aja. Just like I was inside the Bohemian.
Can you mention the police officer's name so we can invite him?
I mention it? I have to protect the source now.
Okay. Police officer in Aja, please contact us. Want to know this story because
contact the Daddy Freeze. Now listen, Freeze. That Aja police officer is actually watching, and I see him here watching. That Aja police officer said because there was no police reports, they had to bury him. They had to rush and bury him. Meanwhile, Nigerians.
But they could have kept him in the morgue. That story is a bit.
They couldn't go to the morgue. Freeze my borrow now. They could not go to the morgue without a report. Two things will get them in the morgue: a police report or a death certificate. You can't just bring a body now. Oh my God, when your man jump body in America,
okay.
So Ntori one more go bring apparently one lo bring allegedly influence DPO here come out for any report. So which means one láti lọ bury right away. Baba MohBad wa lọ lé. Wọ́n fẹ́ lọ gbé body. Wọ́n ní Darosha suppose ti ẹ̀ ń bá mẹ́ body wa lábẹ́ step. Wọ́n ti láti sáré lọ bury ẹ̀. By the time tó máa gbé débi tó fẹ́ ti bury ẹ̀ bàbá kan wà. Mo bẹ́ nìkan sọ̀rọ̀ ní community yẹn. Olóhùn lè jẹ́ kó sí lálẹ́. We cannot do it at night. Wọ́n gbé padà wá láàárọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà gbé bọ́ọ̀dì yẹn lọ. Ibi tí bọ́ọ̀dì yẹn sùn overnight lèmi ò wá mọ̀. Wọ́n wá gbé bọ́ọ̀dì yẹn wá láàárọ̀. Wọ́n wá bury ẹ̀. Ta ló stop MohBad from being in a mortuary? Because tó bá wà ní mortuary, what will happen is that an autopsy will be done immediately. They knew what they were doing because they didn't want us to know the cocktail of drugs, that the cocktails of
medication.
They didn't want us to know the cocktail of medicine they rigged into him. Remember, Freeze, we didn't know about that cocktail of medicines yet. So they wanted to hide the cocktail of medicines they rigged into him by quickly burying him. It was after that that the press conference showed he was given so many medications and he reacted to ceftriaxone and had anaphylaxis. So this is investigative journalism. This is what detectives are supposed to do. MohBad, freeze, in on detectives láti ṣe ni. Go and ask Toronto police. They said I helped them solve 13 pies. I solved 13 pies with them. They are detectives. They detect things. But it was not the detectives doing this. It was an investigative journalist doing this. So if you look at it now, over minimum $6,000. If you look at this, you will now see the reason for Cesare Loberia. So when you kúrò ńbẹ̀, wọ́n fẹ́ hide gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nínú ẹ̀ because nǹkan tó máa kọ́kọ́ rí nínú autopsy nìyẹn. So wọ́n bury ẹ̀. Ìgbà tí wọ́n á lọ exhume 8 days later. Okay? Look at let me answer this question. Nobel, I was deported because of my fake reports. No, that's not why I was deported. I was deported because I was antagonizing gun laws. That's why the police came and now talked about how good I work with them, okay? Learn something. People don't have to be like this. We don't care about your sentiments. VDM is behind bars. I'm here. Only because you pay VDM. Again. But listen. Please listen. Look at the autopsy. Do you see something that was clearly a lie inside the autopsy?
And what is that, Dr.
Okay,
Kemi?
before I tell you what it is. Kini Darusha said, I embalmed the body. I left it under the staircase. MohBad's father came. MohBad's father said, I saw a bloody blanket, and Darusha embalmed the body. The case was closed by the police in November, and it was sent to the DPP. And the police told Yabojo that the case is not with us any longer. Yabo did not go to the DPP. Officer Onikbanjo and all that. Onikbanjo is gone now. The DPP is the Director of Public Prosecutions. Nigerians don't know the meaning of half of this stuff, so you have to explain to them. The Director of Public Prosecutions determines who will now be prosecuted. Kini Mosofwen. Ngbasimu Wasori live last. People, tell the truth. What did I say on my write-ups and on my videos? They will try and push this thing on the nurse and on Prime Boy. Because Prime Boy was the one that had the fight with MohBad. Even though MohBad's punch missed Prime Boy, it ended up in the car, which means glass and metal, injured his right forearm. And that's what they wanted to hear from Prime Boy. When he said he didn't get the invitation, they made him a wanted man. He came in and he spoke to TVC before he went. I didn't want him to talk to TVC, but they said he had a lawyer with him. When they released Prime Boy, they went back and raided his house and arrested him again. Most Nigerians didn't hear that second raid. Prime Boy now wrote some very angry things about Prime Boy now wrote some angry things to Wunmi and said that the world will know the truth about you and walk by your boyfriend. Quote unquote, he used the word boyfriend. So at the time he said boyfriend, I went to look for a marriage certificate. There's none. It was a traditional wedding. So she's a common law wife. That right there is a big issue. She has no right to MohBad's music assets. Okay?
If she has a traditional marriage, and even MohBad's father said that there was a marriage, a wedding.
A traditional marriage. There's
no
marriage.
And a traditional marriage is recognized in Nigeria.
As what?
As a proper marriage.
And I've never been.
As a proper marriage. I come from a family of lawyers. I'm not a lawyer, by the way, but especially since I've been through a divorce. You don't need to have a marriage certificate. All you need to do is have pictures of a traditional wedding. A traditional marriage in Nigeria suffices as a proper marriage.
All right. Whatever it is, I'm not going to argue about marriage because I've never been married in Nigeria or anywhere. And the problem here is that we have music assets. How are they going to use that in probate? There's no marriage certificate. You want to go to probate court to get MohBad's earnings from Naira Marley, who is collecting all the earnings now. You can't use traditional marriage in probate court. How's she going to do that? So they will have a problem in probate. Koloko were ready for probate lawyer. To my face, Naramali, to my going. But listen, where I stopped was the whole fact of what was in that petition, the king and everything. The king was invited with MohBad's father. You know, MohBad's father had an invitation earlier this week. Are you aware of that?
Yes, we heard that in the news.
Okay. That invitation has nothing to do with the public because it's private. If the police were to discuss that invitation, it would compromise the investigation. So when someone is invited, they send us these blank template letters. We're investigating a cyber something, blah, blah, blah. Didn't mention anybody's name. So you go with your lawyer. When MohBad's father got there with his lawyer, it was the king. It was the king palaver that they went to talk about. Whatever they talked about, he's not allowed to discuss with anyone, including me, including any journalists. So all I knew is that it was about the king palaver. MohBad dad is running around doing media interviews saying that once Wunmi does the DNA test, bam, the person that fired MohBad will be revealed. Because he knows the DNA test. Okay? Have you tried interviewing Iyabo and so if they took Wunmi to do a DNA test?
Yes, and they said they didn't. From my
So Stella was lying, right?
I wouldn't say lying. I would just say sources are different and nothing can really be proven now.
Okay. The lie in the autopsy.
Yeah.
After the police washed their hands off the case and sent it to the GPP to prosecute somebody, which I was right about, they push it on the lawyer and Prime Boy. Prime Boy has already testified with the police that he was just trying to prevent MohBad from being harmed. I mean, somebody's out there visibly scared of Naira Marley and Sam Larry and Malian Music Boys. You now stand up and put your head on the sunroof of the car to wave to your fans after the concert. That's dangerous. They can fire a pew-pew. Is that you call it? They can fire a pew-pew at you. So he was pushing him down. In the end, he punched the guy. He punched him back. And then he ended up punching the car. He missed. So you can't really blame Prime Boy for preventing him from being in harm's way. Now,
if you're watching on TikTok, pop my money guns if you're
after
enjoying
8
this.
months,
If you want to comment on YouTube,
when you close
super
the
chat,
case,
super stickers,
Nigerian
super
police
likes.
decided to call
Bottom right hand corner, you'll see a rectangle with a
They
dollar
called
sign
it
in the middle. Click on
illegal
it.
mortician.
Stars on Facebook, 1,000 stars and above, and I
Illegal
will read your
mortician.
comment.
Was Darusha an illegal mortician? Darusha now said, please, I hope you are listening.
I'm listening to
before
you
do
clearly.
Whatever you did. 8 months later, the police now called Darusha. They invited him. He was nowhere to be found. Before they put a wanted poster out for him, he now hired Odumosu, not the police officer, Odumosu, the lawyer, the female lawyer, to represent him. So Odumosu and Darusha went to the invitation on the 9th of May, just 30 days ago. And Darusha said, I didn't embalm MohBad. That was somebody who hacked my Instagram page. Did you hear that, Freeze?
Mm-hmm.
You heard the denial that MohBad, that Darusha never moved. The boy said he hacked my Instagram page. I was his PA. I did not embalm him. Who came up with the narrative of Darusha embalmed MohBad, was under the step? Guess what? Joseph Aloba said on my interview that they had already embalmed his son when he got there and shaved his hair. Is this man now lying? Mr. Aloba said they had shaved his hair and embalmed it. Darusha now said they hacked my Instagram page. So you do not hack Instagram page. I never do that. That's is it a lie now? Look at the first page of the autopsy. What did it say? What did that first page say? Daddy, please, let's look at it. He said they brought in a body not embalmed. Do you have it?
Yeah, I'm looking for it now. Just 1 second, so I can get it for you.
I'm
Okay,
going to-
Dr. Kemi, let's round off because I have another appointment. So
Yeah.
let me read the first page as you said. And
Before you
then
round up, let me go through this autopsy with you real quick.
uh-huh.
What do you say there? Let me just go through this autopsy with you real quick.
My eye
There's
no
a-
good. Make I wear glasses.
There's a medication that they found inside MohBad.
Yes.
That's the key of what we should be talking about now.
Okay.
The medication they found inside MohBad is called diphenhydramine. Can you see that on the autopsy?
All I can see is lawsuit. Autopsy.
Okay, please hold on. I'm pulling it before you have your appointment. This is very, very important. All right. NMS labs. This is what I have. Are you ready?
Yes.
At the top of the autopsy, detailed findings, they have acetaminophen. Okay?
Yeah.
Acetaminophen is the name for paracetamol.
Yeah.
In America. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So something may have well been done in America with regards to the autopsy, to the toxicology tests. I don't know who NMS is, but some people are saying it is the lab they went to in America. But
my other appointment is already calling.
Wait. Tell the person to give you 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Let me tell them. Hello? Yeah, continue.
I'm still going to do it as the right top, so everybody can.
So they're calling me.
For that one.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Kemi said we should give her 5 minutes. So just 5 minutes, I'll be done.
Nico, for me 5 minutes.
Okay, please. We're live now, actually. All right. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know who NMS is, but they said it's the US lab. I don't know whether this are real tests, but this is what they have. Acetaminophen was found inside MohBad, consistent with paracetamol that the nurse gave him for pain. That was on her list. Caffeine was found inside MohBad. It said this test is an unconfirmed screen. Caffeine will come from the drink that Mr. Cubana Chief Priest sponsored the concert with. In other words, energy drinks, bitters, and all that. That may be where the caffeine came from. This is perplexing. Diphenhydramine was found inside MohBad. 3,000. Not enough to buy him. Diphenhydramine is not marketed in Nigeria. Where did MohBad get diphenhydramine from? Diphenhydramine is an antihistamine. We use it to sleep in America, and we use it for allergies, sneezing, and itching. It is not marketed anywhere in Nigeria, and I don't know how it showed up on the liver tissue for MohBad, according to this. Reference comment says diphenhydramine is an antihistamine. It described it. The samples came from his blood specimen, his liver specimen, kidneys, they have everything. That's page 1. Page 2 of this autopsy, that was the toxicology part. The second page talked about the actual areas where they took all these tests. The bone marrow was there, the liver, the kidney, the lung. Liver and kidney is very, very important for medicines, the way they are excreted. They said he had a right forearm injury, multiple tattoos, and the body was exhumed with decomposition starting. The commentary, you can read it, but at the end of the day, they cannot really give what by MohBad. So this autopsy is fake. This toxicology test is fake, and that's how I'm going to come up with it. You cannot tell
those
me.
are your views, Dr. Kemi, not mine. Before lasso people come and carry me. All right.
This is Kemi Olunloyo's views, not Free's views, not the cable, nobody. As a pharmacist of 35 years, you cannot tell me that acetaminophen, caffeine, and diphenhydramine was all you found in the system, claiming that many things have been decomposed. A medicine that's not marketed in in Nigeria.
Now you know that they get one thing. I'm not saying I'm not speaking in favor of them, but here are my thoughts. One, a lot of things that are not marketed in Nigeria are gotten by Nigerians.
Yes.
So they get this from the back door. One. Number 2, yes.
I have diphenhydramine. Somebody brought me 300 tablets for my allergies. So if I buy it, they will find it in my system. Where did MohBad get this amount of diphenhydramine? If it was the nurse that injected a diphenhydramine injection, which pharmacy did she get it from? But it's a sedative. At 50 milligrams, you can send somebody to sleep. So definitely, because there was a sedative inside him. And if you were treating somebody inside a house without going to the hospital, if you give them ceftriaxone and they react to it, that's really what they're saying in the style here, that ceftriaxone gave him an anaphylactic reaction and he died. Okay, this is what this thing is telling me, that it was the medicine that bite him. There are no controlled substances here. In other words, you know what controlled substances are. There are none of them here. So
somebody in the comment section was talking about the balloon drugs. Balloon substance. That is laughing gas.
No, nitrous oxide was not in MohBad's system.
But I'm just saying nitrous oxide is laughing gas. They are the same thing.
Yeah, it was not in his system in the last 48 hours of his life. The only thing I would say that is valid on here is acetaminophen and caffeine. Now, 7 days is a long time. Okay, you can see that they said the body was not embalmed. In the first page, on embalmed body. So should we say that Russia was telling the truth? Salo embalmed body MohBad. See Baba MohBad so want to embalm, want to shave it.
Okay.
This thing is saying it wasn't embalmed. This report is not true. Let them come and sue me. NMS come and sue me. This is fake. This is fake. It did not go anywhere. You can't tell me. Let me tell you why. The first residue that should be gone in the system of this boy should be the acetaminophen. Why did it show up in the toxicology test? Why didn't the ceftriaxone show up? And the tetanus and all the other medication, they did not show up. The ones of me, diphenhydramine, they couldn't show up. I think caffeine. If anything, there might be caffeine, I can understand. But acetaminophen, what metabolize in the liver, what low 8 days left in the grave.
But metabolism stops after demise. Sorry, Dr. Kemi, metabolism of substance ends a few hours after demise.
It's called a half-life of a drug. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, but you see that half-life, while it's in his system and he's alive to pump it around his system, the moment he passes on, it no longer can be metabolized.
A pharmacist is on here saying what this woman is saying is fact. Oh, you cannot. The half-life of the drug is half the time it takes the drug to get out of the system. In other words, what I'm actually saying this NMS thing is fake is because if we have to look at the half-life of the long list that Olunloyo gave us from the nurse, our drugs, our medicines to the system, acetaminophen law 3 hours we half-life acetaminophen. Are you telling me you find acetaminophen in this boy's body after 8 days?
Because you see, let me explain what the half-life is to you, Dr. Kemi. Hold on. Half-life, as he is working and metabolizing it, he's passing it out through his wee and all that. But the moment his body is no longer functioning, the half-life cannot be determined the way it is determined in a living organism.
That's why we have toxicology. We didn't use cocaine, crack cocaine. They did not find that as the use. What you said, the half-life of a medication is half the time it takes to eliminate from the body through the kidneys or the liver.
Yes.
The acetaminophen they found in a body that has been under the ground for 8 days in rigor mortis should not be showing as
rigor mortis. Sorry, Dr. Kemi. Rigor mortis ends about 10 hours or 15 hours after demise. Rigor mortis is not on for 8 days. Oh. Let me give you the facts. Hold on. Let me give you the facts about rigor mortis. Hold on. When does rigor mortis set in? Rigor mortis approximately 2 hours after demise to about 8 hours. To about 8 hours. So after 8 hours, rigor mortis is no. So 8 days, rigor mortis has ended since. So we cannot bring in rigor mortis for as proof for 8 days. Rigor mortis ends within 12 hours. It's gone.
Freeze. After rigor mortis, then you have LIVOR, LIVOR, livor mortis. What I'm telling you is, after After a body has been exhumed 8 days after, and there was some body fluids inside the casket, after 8 days, these are not the two drugs that should be showing. Not acetaminophen, not diphenhydramine. Caffeine, yes. Why? Because of formalin. Formalin is the active ingredient in embalming fluid. MohBad was embalmed.
Now, hold on. Can we have wait. There's so many things I disagree with. One is the half-life. We need a toxicologist or a pharmacologist to come and explain how half-life works after demise. Because you see, half-life in a living body is different from half-life after someone has passed and their liver and kidney are no longer functioning and expelling or filtering their blood. So we also need a doctor, preferably. I used to have on my contact list a pathologist who specialized in embalming. Now, if you know, hold on, Dr. Kemi, if you know any doctor who is who is into forensic medicine, please, forensic doctors in the house, forensic pharmacists in the house. I'm going to take a break now to have a meeting, and when I come back, I would want us to have this properly yes, you will come back. Now, I need, because you see, there are things that you're saying that even I don't agree with in totality, but I'm not expert enough. Let me tell you something. Hold on. The fact that someone is a doctor does not mean he can give an oncology advice. A professor of cardiology, sorry, hold on. A professor of cardiology cannot give you oncology advice. So you as a pharmacist, yeah, I know, that's what I'm telling you. A professor of cardiology cannot give you advice on oncology. So Dr. Kemi, you are a pharmacist. You cannot
I'm a clinical pharmacist.
A clinical pharmacist, yes. But you see, what we need at this stage is a forensic doctor. Someone,
we need a pathologist.
A pathologist. I said that first. That's why I said I need a pathologist, guys. Pathologist first. Someone who's
doing that
now. Someone who is an expert on forensic medicine. We need to have that here, and if possible, a representative of this.
Your comments. A lot of professionals are in your comments.
I don't know them. Anybody can claim. Listen, now me they run this live. I they tell you, say somebody go come now, go tell you say me banker, you go bring them live, say I just wanted to say hi. No, if you are, someone says she's a pharmacist. Pharmacist is not enough here. She's not a forensic. You see, you see, my problem is go school, and no go school. Forensic medicine is different.
Let me just say my last word.
Say your last word.
My last words here, I will come back later. My last words here now is that if you look at the autopsy is saying that the body that they brought to them was not embalmed. Okay? Meanwhile, Darusha said he embalmed the body. The father said, I found an embalmed body.
Now, how does the father know an embalmed body?
I don't know, but
how much school did the father go to that he can make a claim that he knows an embalmed body?
Please, may interrupt.
Okay. Oh yeah,
This part is investigative journalism, and I'm not the one supposed to be doing it. It's supposed to be the detectives. Darusha said I embalmed the body. I put it under the staircase. Father said I found the embalmed body under the staircase and a bloody blanket. 8 months later, Darusha said, I did not embalm anybody. After I was invited by the police, they hacked my Instagram page. I did not write that. Now we have a toxicology, autopsy that says the body that person was not embalmed. Now, that body was embalmed because formalin is the active ingredient in embalming.
Now, was formalin found?
Don't interrupt. Wait, formalin is what dissolves the liver in rigor and liver mortis. Okay, rigor, R-I-G-E, or liver, L-I-V-E-R. That is what dissolves the liver and the kidney. Everything turns into liquid. You can see clearly that that boy was past rigor mortis, is now in livor mortis. There was some liquid inside the casket. Okay? So at the end of the day, this thing is saying that it was not embalmed. So there's a discrepancy. That's investigative journalism. They made this up. Now, why are they using paracetamol? Why are they not using paracetamol and using acetaminophen, American name? We studied on the USP, United States Pharmacopoeia. Nigeria used PP. Some of you will see PP on your medicines. It means British Pharmacopoeia. That's UK. I am USP. This are USP was diphenhydramine. Can you imagine? Acetaminophen. The only thing that they were supposed to see on there was caffeine, because caffeine is the end product of everything. Caffeine will always be there. But they're not supposed to see acetaminophen. Paracetamol has half-life 3 hours. After 3 hours, you take another. If you have a headache, you take another one. You run it. What money? When they must super for MohBad because my name like me. Mama super for MohBad because your mother is getting me.
Okay. Auntie Kemi. Auntie Kemi is okay. It's okay. Thank you. Eshegon. Emma Binu. I will come back in. Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. I will come back.
When you need me,
I will call you when I come back. Okay. All right, guys. I've got to run, but I don't agree with a lot of what she said, and a lot of what she said are allegations that need to be proven, because she's saying some of the things you want to hear. Because of she's saying some of the things you want to hear, you are emotionally charged. It doesn't work like that. I would want, beyond anything, to have you see, there's a difference between rigor mortis and livor mortis. Livor mortis is brought on by gravity. And until I get a pathologist or a forensic doctor to come and tell us, and a forensic pharmacologist, if possible, to come and tell us how somebody is saying, I am biased. Una dance go. So until we get a proper forensic doctor to come and throw light on these, from my understanding, I would not agree with her greatly, my understanding of medicine. But I'm not a trained doctor. This one saying, are you dancing? No, say I get block button. Olufemi, Oluofe, Olori Buruku niwo. Ba rapture danujo. So, Nigerians go school, go school. What do you know? What is rigor mortis? Do you know what livor mortis is? You don't know anything. You are just jumping. Do you know what half-life of a medication is? And you see, when something is emotionally charged, I told you something from the beginning, guys. I am not emotional. I am not emotionally charged by this. Half-life of a medication inside a human body is different. When you see, when you say half-life, it means the time it takes the drug to go through your system. As a human being who's living and moving around, you are breathing out air, you are using the bathroom, and you are drinking water. So your kidneys and your liver are constantly working. But when somebody stops to live, the way a substance metabolizes is totally different. And I will not take it. That's why I told her, I said an oncologist, a cardiologist cannot give you oncology advice. A pharmacist cannot give you forensic medicine advice. I would need a forensic doctor. God bless you, Mama Tusi. God will bless you. This is a nurse. And not just any nurse. Mama Tusi, I'm bringing you for 30 seconds because I've got to run. Somebody is waiting for me. I have a serious meeting that I'm holding on. Somebody said through photosynthesis. Photosynthesis call. So please, although you are not a forensic doctor, I'm sure you have an idea of what half-life is, and half-life in someone who has demand, who is no, I don't want to use the words because of Instagram, who don't buy.
Yes.
Is there a difference between half-life in a living body and half-life of somebody who don't buy?
Absolutely.
I'm
not saying that. The issue I have with Auntie Kemi is not that I don't support some of her points, which is they are valid and they should be it should be investigated. But she needs to also put in the factors that there are variables at play, which and particularly environmental variables. This guy was buried quickly, and so temperature, humidity, and all of those things can affect the post-mortem. Is different from when you are still alive. It's not the same thing. So and again, Nigeria is not a place that we have so much advancement in technology that can be used, because I know she was saying that even things that's happened in 1950, they will be able to detect, but then they have the technology to do that. So except somebody wants to bring the body down to United States, UK, or all these places and go and see if they can run something, of course they can detect it. They did it for Yasser Arafat. They were able to detect the poison. But Nigeria level, what we have is what we will use. And I feel like it's not fair to completely discredit the people that worked on this, the pathologists that worked on this. It's their license and their integrity that is also online. And I coming online and blatantly saying that, oh, they faked it. It's just, without saying, in my opinion, I think they need to review this. They need to look deeply into it. So, but I agree with you, DF. Post-mortem is different.
Post-mortem is different. You cannot count half-life for somebody whose kidneys and liver are working with somebody whose kidneys and livers have stopped working. You understand? Yeah. I'm trying to bring in someone here, but you see, my problem is all these things we are saying, 90% of the people who are here are dancing on TikTok. You understand what I'm saying? They have no understanding of anything. I'm dancing. Yeah, so how do you that Reagan guy? Reagan, send me a request so I can bring you live. And guys, I'm not bringing just anyone live at this stage. I'm only bringing people who have. I know her to be a nurse, so I'm only bringing anyone who has medical background. I don't care about opinions now. We all have one.
I'm speaking from because my first degree was actually in biology and chemistry. So I'm speaking from that angle also. And again, besides the fact that nursing and all of that. So when you talk about even, I talked about Nigeria, the fact that we are not as advanced, the level, what we are using for our toxicology, the method we are using, which is the sensitivity of the method we are using, the specificity of the method we are using, they can affect the results. Again, the dad have a choice. It can go somewhere else that they might have better this thing to use. Then they are not considering the fact that when there is decomposition, acetaminophen, I know that she's talking about the half-life, but when things start breaking down, there's a possibility that even in early it will dilute it. It might dilute it. It might make it more concentrated. So it depends. We cannot say with certainty, 100% certainty, and say what they said they released is fake.
I also don't agree with that. I also don't agree with that. And also knowing everything that played up to MohBad, he showed signs of paranoia, right? Or am I right or wrong? He showed he was known. He had even done videos of him using substance. So there are different things that could have added up, and nobody can come and say no because I'm a pharmacist. I don't agree with that, and I don't want I don't want the people that went to school. I went to school to study to come and say it was on Daddy Free's live that they debunked their 12 years of work. So if I'm going to debunk anybody's body of work, I'm going to use a professional. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to bring you back, and I'm going to bring a few learned people back. If you are learned, because I'm coming back and I have an important meeting. All of you that are saying, I'm a doctor, but a native one. Can you see this dumb dingbat? You remove Kemi, you not go meeting again. By rapture. I don't have time for stupid people.
Anita, I'm a nurse. She's a pharmacist. That is
why we don't have the capacity. We are not.
None of them. Pharmacists on this matter. Pharmacists cannot talk. Nurse cannot talk. It is outside. That's why I was giving her that example. You people are too slow to pick it. I said a professor of cardiology, heart professor, cannot give you cancer advice. He will refer you to an oncologist. But you see, in Nigeria, a nurse will give you oncology advice. A pharmacist will give you oncology advice. It's not done like that anywhere in the world. The people who I want to hear in this my life today, I want to move forensic. Write it down if you have never heard it before and go and Google it. I want to hear the opinions of a forensic doctor, a forensic lawyer, a forensic pharmacologist, and a pathologist. If you are none of those, nobody's opinion is valid.
They can go and Google. They can go and Google it. Maybe you all should go and Google.
Go and Google what forensic medicine is. A forensic doctor is a lawyer and a doctor, and he has studied decomposition. He has studied all. So he is the one that can give you a proper breakdown of this. Not a pharmacist, not a medical doctor, not a nurse, not a professor of oncology, not a professor of radiology. A forensic doctor is the only, and I'm going to try as much as possible to have like one or two to bring to this live within the hour so we can have this conversation. Take care, everybody. Let me rush. God bless you all.
All right, then.